The diplomatic row between the UK and Ireland over asylum seekers is rumbling on. And a plan by Ireland to send police officers to the border to stop migrants entering the country sparked a furious row between Rishi Sunak and the Irish Prime Minister. Well, tensions escalated further as Rishi Sunak asserted that the UK has no obligation whatsoever to accept the return of illegal migrants from Ireland. And despite vehemently advocating for an open border, if you recall, during Brexit negotiations to preserve the peace process, well, Ireland's decision to deploy police officers to the borders raises serious amounts of eyebrows. So despite all the pontificating during the Brexit negotiations, I have to ask, has Ireland miraculously managed to discover its hard border? Well, to explain this seeming contradictory stance from the Irish government, I'm pleased to be joined now down the line by the president of the Irish Freedom Party, Hermann Kelly. Hermann, welcome to the show. Always a pleasure. So, Hermann, let's start with this notion of, we heard 100 police officers may be deployed by the Republic to the border. They seem to have suddenly developed a taste for protecting their border, Hermann. Where did that come from?
The Irish government doesn't give a damn about protecting the Irish people, Irish sovereignty or Irish territory. The Irish government just last week, and you covered this in the news, that they sent the police force, the Gardaí, to pretty much beat up local people who were very concerned about the security and safety of their local area. And really, we saw scenes which were virtually unheard of in Ireland in the last number of decades post the Troubles. It was like a cross between RoboCop and RUC, I'm sorry to say, that they really beat into local people who all they wanted to do was voice concerns and say that they didn't want large numbers of unvetted males planted in their area because they had grave concerns about the security of their community. And the whole thing, go ahead, Martin.
There you go.
Yeah, but a hard border, they demanded, no, we want an open border. The problem is with the Irish state is they don't want, seemingly, they have no functioning deportation system in Ireland at the minute. I think last week it came out, Helen McEntee, that 7,300 people were supposed to be deported. Less than 100 since 2023 have been deported. So it's very clear there's no functioning deportation centre, and anybody who reaches the island of Ireland can come in and they get loads of free stuff. I actually visited a hotel there on yesterday, and it was unbelievable, the facilities that these people had.
Yeah, in fact, Hermann, let's turn now to that footage that you sent in to the Farage show. Yesterday, the tented city was cleared from central Dublin. A few weeks ago, it was cleared, and the asylum seekers in that city, tented city, simply walked back into Dublin. This time, Hermann Kelly, they were taken to a very different location. Explain to viewers what we're seeing on screen now. Where did they find themselves? Looks rather plush.
They found themselves in City West Hotel in the west of the city. I believe it's 1,200 beds. It's one of the biggest, I think it is actually the biggest hotel in Dublin. Very salubrious. I walked around it. They had a golf course, which is only for residents. They have large pools. The rooms are fantastic. The people there are entering into the conference centre. There's a leisure centre. There's a swimming pool. There's golf courses for residents only. So Irish people are paying for this, and yet they're not allowed to use the facilities. They're for all the people who come in from around the world, Somalia, Afghanistan, Kurdistan, wherever, and they are treated like kings. They get free welfare, free medical care, free accommodation. At the same time, Irish people are means tested for all this free welfare stuff. And actually, I was walking around the car park. There's a lot of Ukrainian refugees there as well. And there were huge, very large Ukrainian SUVs in the car park. And let me tell you about a scheme that they have in Ireland at the minute. It's called ARP, Accommodation Recognition Payment, where Ukrainians get €800 tax-free to give to an Irish landlord whereas an Irish person would have to pay €800 to the same landlord. That would be taxed. So if you're an Irish landlord letting out an apartment, of course you're going to take the Ukrainian, and it's discriminatory, we believe, against Irish people. There's a new scheme in the newspapers today that seemingly the Irish government is now going to spend a lot more taxpayers' money to buy up dilapidated houses to give to asylum seekers. So that means the Irish state will be using taxpayers' money to compete in the housing market against Irish taxpayers.
Yeah, and Hermann Kelly, that's exactly what we're seeing here on the mainland. And of course, nobody should deserve to live in a tent. We have a duty of care to protect and welcome the most vulnerable from around the world. Of course, nobody wants to see people suffer, but we see time and time again, do we not, Hermann Kelly, that people seem to be living the life of Riley, especially in a luxurious hotel, which, as you said, very few people in Dublin could afford to even stay. And we have to leave it there. We've simply ran out of time. Hermann Kelly, President of the Irish Freedom Party, thank you for joining us on Farage. Always a pleasure.